I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews, where we review movies, TV shows, and react to trailers and anything that's going on in the world of entertainment. And today we are talking about the first 3 episodes of Pluribus. Yes, and these will be spoiler reviews. All of the TV show reviews I do, at least each episode, if I'm gonna have to talk about the whole episode, I'm sorry, I gotta spoil it. I gotta just tell you what happened, or at least my thoughts and opinions on what happened. So yeah, and with a show like this, there's gonna be speculation, there's gonna be theories. I'm gonna be thinking things and wanted to give my overall thoughts and opinions on where the show might be going. But outside of that, like any review I do over here, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and my overall thoughts and opinion. And for this special video, we're just going to do the first 3 episodes like that. And then probably for it, if I do talk about that show, we're going to do those first 4 episodes is going to be by this weekend. God damn. I got 3 episodes to watch. Anyways, I didn't know that. But might have to wait till that's just over with and just binge it and then give you my thoughts and opinions. That sounds about right. That sounds 10 times better to me. Either way. So Pluribus stars Rhea Seehorn and is created by Vince Gilligan. If you don't know who he is, he made Breaking Bad, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. I'll give him that. It's up there. It's in the top 15. It's in the top 15, top 10 for me. Breaking Bad was some amazing TV when it was out. Definitely. Now, I was young when it first started, but around that 3rd season, I was watching religiously. It's a really good show. Really good show. Aaron Paul, Bryan Cranston, you know what it is. And Vince Gilligan is the one who was behind that. And this is his new show. He hasn't done a show since then, I believe. I don't know. I have to look it up on IMDb, but outside of that, it's been a minute since we heard from him, and here he is to present us this new piece of work. I also believe, he did Better Call Saul as well, the spinoff to Breaking Bad. I think that's where Rhea Seehorn comes from, if I'm not mistaken as well. And he said the reason he made this show was because he thinks she's a star and she deserves to be put on the pedestal that she earned. And honestly, she is a really good actress. These 3 episodes, she acted her ass off. Like, talk about miserable. And that's the basic premise of this show. Like I said, I'm going to get into spoilers. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to tell you what it is. Basically, this is extraterrestrial virus that was sent through space from probably another planet that was overcome by this virus. And I guess it cures the world of being dickheads and douchebags, and everybody's happy now, and we're all one. Basically, everybody's one now. This virus, you could call it alien invasion, you could call it zombies, you could call it what you want to call it, but either way, it's an extraterrestrial virus that basically was sent through a code, and the astronomers thought it was Morse code at first, so they was trying to translate it. But that wasn't working. So it was like, it has to be something else. And so they realized that it was like a biological code. And then they extracted it. They tested it out on some rats. One of the rats bit one of the fucking people. She started shaking. And then after a moment, she was happy. And then she kissed Buddy. And then he was happy. And then he went and kissed the janitor. Yeah, he went and kissed a whole nother man. And I'm like, how you gonna just let him whole another man kiss you like that, janitor? The janitor was like, hey, buddy, what's up? And then he just succumbed to it. Like, no, get the fuck up off me, nigga, damn. But then he gets it. And then he passes it, and it spreads, basically. And that was my whole thought process. I believe, this is my theory, I believe what happened was, like I said, somebody had probably came up with this virus on Earth mistakenly, or on another planet mistakenly, and it makes everybody happy. So what does a virus want to do? It wants to spread. So what did this virus do? It just figured out a way to spread through the fucking galaxy, and the people on Earth, or at least this Earth, picked it up and was like, oh, this is something from a different planet, let's look into it. And being the explorers that we are, we tripped up on something that, who knows, might be good for us, or it might be kind of weird. Because that was my whole thought process. I'm like, I get it, everybody has one mindset, everybody has one focus, and if everybody comes together like this, we can all be one and be happy, and you don't have to deal with crime. It's just a lot of things, it's a lot of pluses to it, but it's like, in the end, billions of people are basically tied together in one soul. And it's all interconnected. So a 6-year-old child has the same thought process as a 60-year-old brain surgeon. Yeah, that's what's basically going on here. And at the end of the day, I like it. I think the premise is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. The first episode was pretty dope. In the first episode, it's that slow burn type of first episode. It has to take us where it's leading us. We got to set up the characters. We got to set up Carol. We got to set up Helen, her partner. Yeah, she's a lesbian. She's a part of the LGBT community. Shout out to them. So we got to shout. I like how they're intertwining that relationship in this as well. It feels genuine. It doesn't feel forced. I actually do fuck with it. So not mad at it at all. But either way, that's a big part of what's going on here, because when everybody was catching the happy, some people weren't able to, I guess, process it, kind of like COVID. When COVID happened, people died because everybody's immune system wasn't the same. So some immune systems can handle COVID. Some immune systems, if too weak, they got clapped for, unfortunately. And maybe all the people, rest in peace, that lost their lives to COVID. I'm just saying, that's how that works. And so it was basically the same way here. Some people were able to get happy, and other people, unfortunately, died. And they say the number. They say it was over 800 million people that didn't make it. Now, there's 4 billion people on Earth, so about a quarter, maybe. But still, that's still a lot of people. But, they just didn't make it, unfortunately. And also, like our main character, Carol, about 12 people didn't even get the virus. So 12 out of 4 billion people didn't get it. 800 million died. And so you basically have over 3 billion people on Earth interconnected with all the same thoughts and memories and walking around as one and happy, while Carol, our main character, she doesn't want no parts of this. She wants to figure it out. Honestly, Carol wants to save the world. That's what kind of comes up in the second episode. I guess we can get into that one. She wants to save the world, basically. So she says, hey, can y'all see if the other people that aren't happy like everybody else, can you see if they want to talk and get to know each other and whatnot? And so they basically set up a meeting with the other people, and one of them's mad at Carol because basically when you yell at one of these happy people, they start tweaking out because they can't handle the toxicity. they can't handle the negativity, so they start tweaking out. And if that happens, and if they're doing something, or if they are somewhere like working or something, or if say one of them's flying a plane, right, and if they start tweaking out, then the plane starts crashing down. And so basically Carol made her person that they sent to her because they want to send somebody that they felt was comfortable to her, which is kind of odd because everybody else had family around them. Why didn't they send? Does Carol not have a mom, a dad? I guess we'll learn more about that during the season, but like, where is her family? Like, they couldn't send her family to comfort her? No, she is an author, by the way, so she writes these books, and she's famous for writing these books about, romance, pirates type books. The older white women love that shit. And apparently there's this male in the book. His name is Fabian, I don't know. But, Carol's a lesbian. So at first she wanted to make it a female, but her wife, being her book manager, said, let's make it a male, because the women, they'll dig that more. And she was right. They digged it way more. But they send this chick, Zosha. She is on the happy virus. So they sent her to her because she's the most familiar with what the person that was supposed to be the love interest in the book, a woman, looks like. And they got that because they have Helen's memories, and that's a whole big thing. Carol's like, don't use Helen's memories because that was my lover, and this, y'all are the reason she's dead. In a sense, that is true. And their whole purpose is like, look, Carol, we just want to make you happy. And that kind of gets into the third episode, Grenade. I'm trying to breeze through it as much as possible. And in that episode, while a lot happens, basically, like I said, she goes to meet with the other people and she asks them, hey, she's like, look, let's try and save the world. They're not with it. They're having the time of their lives because they basically turned all these happy people into their servants. But one thing I didn't mention that is a big part of this is that the happy people, they don't like the fact that it's 12 people not like them. They don't like the fact that it's 12 people not connected to them. So while, yes, they are trying to please them as much as possible and give them everything they want, they literally gave one of the buddies the Air Force One plane, yes, the president's plane. They gave it to him. He's flying around in it all around the country, doing what he wants to do. And the happy people, he basically treating them like his slaves at this point. But their whole thing is, at some point, we got to turn y'all into us. And we're going to figure out a way to do that. And when that time comes, guess what? We're doing that. Because they feel like this is just better for I guess the human race, all of us being connected and working as one and being happy about it. I mean, yeah, it sounds about right. It sounds like what you want the world to be, but it isn't really. So I understand. Either way, yeah. But that's the point, because they're doing anything to want to make them happy. And so Carol, she's like, okay, you want to make me happy? She sarcastically tells one of them, or tells her companion, or her happy companion, I guess, hey, bring me a grenade since you want to make me happy. And then she hangs up on him. And then a few hours later, she comes to the door, rings on it with a grenade. And she's like, you really brought me a grenade? And so she's like, fuck the grenade. Come in, let's have a drink. Do happy people get drunk? And apparently they do. So you start drinking, which is something that I'd say is a really cool scene. Carol gets drunk and she starts expressing herself and starts talking about what her happy place basically is. And in that, she gets mad when her companion brings up Helen's memories, and she said, hey, don't bring up Helen's memories. That is my woman. And no, stop it. Stop digging into her memories. I don't care how connected y'all, because apparently before she had passed away, they did connect to her. But unfortunately, so in a lot of ways, she's talking to what would be Helen if she would allow it, but she doesn't want to hear it. So either way, the happy companion does that. Carol gets pissed, and she's drunk at this point. So she starts fucking around with the grenade, pulls it off, and says, y'all wouldn't give me a real grenade. Let it flies. And now the grenade's ticking. The happy companion says, yeah, I'll take this from you. Throws it out the window, blows up the whole fucking front yard because they gave her an actual grenade. Unfortunately, the happy companion ends up injured. They take her to the hospital. She makes it through. And then they let her know what happened and let her know she's fine. And then Carol goes, so let me get this straight. If I would have told you to bring me a nuclear fucking weapon, you would have done it? And in a roundabout ways, they say, yeah, we would have advised against it. We would have said, this probably isn't a good idea to blow this up. We would completely advise against it. But we want to do anything to make you happy, because that's the whole point. Everybody should be happy because everybody's happy. Either way, I enjoyed all 3 episodes. Episode 1, I probably give a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Episode 2, I probably give the same score. Episode 3, I give a 3.5 because it does start off a bit slow, but it does get to a point. And that was the one that wasn't written and directed by Vince Gilligan. He did the first two. The first two were peak TV. It was almost 5s, but not close. But it was up there though for sure. And then you can kind of sense the drop off in the 3rd episode, because it is good. Like, it is a certain point where, okay, she wants to eat, of course, but she ain't really got nothing in her refrigerator, and she not fucking with the happy people, so she don't want them bringing anything to her. She's like, I'm independent, I can do what I need to do. So she goes to her farmer's market that she likes to go to, but that shit is empty. And so basically what the happy people are doing, they're taking all of the resources and they're putting them away, and they're sparingly using them. Like, smart. So, because what you do find out in episode 2 as well, they can't kill. Like, they can't kill humans or they can't kill animals. So when it comes down to it, when they run out of all the protein, all you got is vegetables. So yeah, these fuckers are vegetarians at the end of the day. But regardless of it, she goes to the grocery store and nothing's in there. Nobody's in there, of course. So she calls her companion and she's like, companion, where's my sprouts? Like, that's what she literally says. And then companion's like, she explains to her what I just explained to you. She goes, bump all that. Can you bring me this grocery store back? Like, put the whole grocery store back together, food and all. And the companion like kind of paused. It was like, I think the companion was like, she wants us to do what? But then, of course, do anything to make Carol happy, because they just want her to be happy. They say sure. And within minutes, truckloads of fucking groceries pull up to the fucking parking lot. A bunch of people come through as well. They start unloading that bitch and start loading up the sprouts. Episode 3 was pretty cool, but it wasn't that same ride that the first 2 episodes kind of felt like. Like, the first 2 episodes had an eerie type feeling to them. Like, wow, in the 3rd episode, you feel kind of used to it. The first 2, you do feel creeped out that the world has been taken over by a happy virus. You don't know. You don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, you just don't know. It's like, okay, I can get we're all one, but nobody's really themselves anymore. Everybody's connected. So we all think the same and we all move on the same hive mindset, and that's not freedom. It's good to be happy, but it's also good to be free as well. And so it's kind of like, will you get rid of your freedom for happiness, for eternal happiness? Or would you keep your freedom and keep being able to make the decisions you want to make and the choices you want to make while dealing with your feelings? Great questions that are being asked, and I want to see where this goes. Apparently, there's 4 seasons planned for this, so we shall see what happens. I definitely will be talking about the show every week, as long as it keeps my interest. That's what's going to happen with these TV shows. If it keeps my interest, we're going to watch it every week. So first 3 episodes, fire. We'll definitely be back here next week to talk about the 4th episode. But if it gets mid, like, I'm going to give it 3 strikes and you're out, right? 3 mids and we're done. We're out of here. 3 mids, trash, we're out of here. On any TV show. I don't think that's going to happen with PLURIBUS. At least I don't want it to, because I am very intrigued. I want to see where this goes. I like the main character, Carol. I even like her happy companion. I like what they're doing with that dynamic. I like what's going on here. I like the story. I want to see what they have planned, because like I said, Vince Gilligan said 4 seasons. So I already got it mapped out. I kind of know how I want it to end. We in it. We locked in. So let's get it. Either way, like I said, all 3 episodes fire. Let me know what you think about it. And also, put some TV recommendations in the comments below. Like I said, I'm just going to go off of what I think is popping and what I have interest on, and I'm just going to watch that every week. And if you guys have anything that you want me to watch and say, hey, Michael, you should watch this, we'll consider watching it. So just let me know. Put it in the comments below. Go, hey, this TV show's out. Watch this. And if enough people say, yeah, you should be watching this, I'll consider it, and I'll probably watch it. Probably. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments below about PLURIBUS, though. I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.